there were questions about Facebook. Yeah, and as far as what folks are doing to try and resolve it, it seems like everyone's doing what they should be. And unfortunately, Facebook is just not, they're not the most responsive and most helpful in these situations, unfortunately. But Deborah, I do see your hand.
All right. Whoops, let's see here. I guess I'm already unmuted. I just have a question. This is on our newsletter page. And a couple times when I've gone to upload our newsletter, it's larger than the 2 MB or 2000 KB size.
Okay.
And so I have gone back and compressed some of our graphics and PDFs, and that worked. But I just was wondering, is there something else that I should be doing that can be done
Yeah,
to be able to post that?
good question. Because I know that I've come across even myself. So it happens often. If you are able to compress the files within that PDF, like you said, you compress some of the pictures and then that got you to below the max. That's a great way to do it. Another way that I will usually do it is just Google compress and then the either PDF, doc, whatever the file extension is. So compress PDF. You can put free in there, but usually the first few options are going to be free. But this just offers you a way to upload your file through their website, their service, and they compress it for you in its entirety. Sometimes it doesn't get it down too much, and I'm not sure exactly why. It probably just depends on the type of files and how many and how large they are within your PDF. But 9 or 8 times out of 10, these services are what I usually go for, and they work just fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you generate your newsletter? I do mine in Constant Contact, and so I just put in the link to Constant Contact, so I don't actually upload the PDF.
So actually, I don't know because I don't do the newsletter. So we have an editor for the newsletter. And then when she gets the newsletter ready, then she emails that to me. And then I do the uploading and get it on the website and notify our members that it's out there. So I don't know. She's not using Constant Contact. She's using something else, but I don't know what that is.
Thanks.
You might want to try that, though. Put it on a shared, I don't know if you can put it on the Google shared drive and give people access to a link that way or not, but that's another way.
Definitely an option too. Yeah. Yeah.
And MailChimp, if you use MailChimp.
And MailChimp is like similar to Constant Contact, right? Where it's an emailing service and you generate those within there.
Okay. And now do all of you or most of you, do you then post your newsletter on your website as well?
We host it on MailChimp.
It sounds
Okay.
like they're sharing links to their newsletter.
Yeah, I actually post ours as a file on the website and then do a link from our website to it.
Okay.
But we send it out as part through MailChimp. So they upload it also. I could probably link to it there, but I feel better linking to it on, on MyLO.
Yeah, several options there in that case.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we generate. Yeah, I just got started doing that, generating the newsletter and Constant Contacts, so we can email it to everybody, and then I just copy the link into our website.
Okay.
Because you have the web version of it, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Which leads to other issues, but it's a nice tool. I'm sorry, I probably should explain. The other issues are you put your roster into the US roster management, And then you've got to put your roster into Constant Contact to email everybody. And so you have at least two versions. And I don't usually like having multiples of the same thing because they get out of sequence sometimes. It's just hard to manage it. And now I'm finding out there's a third roster of the same people. So try not to create these kind of nightmares.
Yeah, a bit more to juggle.
Yes.
I wanted to show off that with Constant Contact, and I bet with MailChimp too, you have the ability to have like a subscribe button. I've seen other MyLO sites have like it's like a form where the person can fill in their email address and subscribe. But I guess this just leads to the same, yeah. So
Free? Okay,
this is from Constant Contact. Yeah.
okay, that's mine and Jennifer's. So we actually do two newsletters. So that one that's on the website is one that we send to members, but also to what we call our supporters.
Mhm.
So there's nothing about, any of our members on there. So I don't care who, looks at it. And in this case, Constant Contact also does what they call archiving. So I archive that one through the system, but then in our members only section, I do, like Mike said, I take the URL that Constant Contact gives for the voter, and that goes in our members only section. But we also, of course, send it out to the members.
Awesome.
And don't go away from there, because I got a question for you about on our website.
The Constant Contact. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I'll stick around here. Okay, yeah, we can jump to your question if there's,
So go to members only.
I may have to
Oh,
stop
yeah.
masquerading. Yeah, hold on.
I forgot.
Okay, sorry. So it looks a bit different, but
So
on
what I'm
members
what I'm looking at is the April 8th event. See where it says register here?
Mhm.
I didn't think that okay, that works. I didn't think that you could, unless it has to do with it being private. I didn't know that you could, that's all part of the summary.
It looks like it. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm going to first masquerade as you. Okay, so April 8th, let's check out. So I'm going to open a new draft so we can see if there is a summary set up for this. So above the body. Okay, there's not an actual summary that you set up separately. It looks like,
Okay. All right. So they took it from there. Yeah.
yeah, the default 200 to 300 characters that it takes from
Yeah. Okay.
this side. Yeah, that's pretty short. But were you wanting it to look differently? Were you expecting it to
No, I'm questioning. I thought that I thought on the front page, where this article is, that you could not have a URL, a live URL.
Gotcha. I mean, it is possible. Typically, this HTML goes for so long that usually the URLs are cut off, and that's why they don't show up.
Oh,
But
okay.
because you don't have much text or much formatting, it's
Okay.
taking everything. So yeah,
Okay.
it's
All right.
taking it.
All right. That's a
regardless.
simple answer. Okay. That's the first time I think that I just happened to notice that. Thank you.
Why don't you use the registration link?
And you
So
can use that too.
because then that will show up on the homepage.
Can I play around with that, Mary Jo, to show you what that looks like?
Sure. I don't, yeah.
So the link, I'm just copying the registration link. We have a field here under event registration.
Oh, I never use that.
And it's just
Right,
going to
but-
create a button like this one on
Okay.
on your page. So
Oh,
And
okay.
on the homepage.
and that too, yeah, on the lists, that's the nice
Oh.
part about it.
Even-
But I don't think Mary Jo wants that because it's a members only.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, it's
Oh.
not
But if
on the
but if I
homepage,
was
but
doing
wherever it's
something else.
listed.
Oh, okay.
So if you have things promoted, like events promoted on your homepage, then the registration button will show up there. They'll show up on the calendar. If you have them here on members only events there as well. So any list, the registration button will show up there. And then let's see what it looks like when we're looking at the actual event. And then it's just right under the location information.
So that was sort of further down there somewhere.
Yeah, let me show you where that was at again. So we're in the new draft. We are going past the body and the body with embed code under additional event hosts, event
Okay.
registration.
And seems like you said it did two things, but you
As
said
far
something
as
that,
where
that
it
creates
shows
the
up,
button too.
it creates the button
Okay.
and shows that button on the event page here and then wherever it is in a list.
Oh, okay. So that's what you were saying, the two things. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you. I might try that.
Yeah, while you're there, I was playing around with the summary, like you said a few meetings ago. And that does, when you put things in the summary, show on the homepage, when you say promote to homepage. But when you click on it to go say read more, to go to wherever the event or calendar is, that summary doesn't show up on the second page.
Right, it does not.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, the summary,
It
if
did-
you are,
oh,
I'm gonna actually
yeah.
go
What do you
back
mean?
to the demo site. So,
Well, let's give a little context. I was trying to force more information on the homepage when I posted things to the homepage. And Amara said, well, gee, put it in the summary because the whole summary gets posted to the front page. But then when you go back to, let's say, the calendar event and click the calendar page, that homepage information isn't there.
okay, so
Well, you had to put it there to begin with.
It's in the summary, but the summary doesn't display on the calendars page. It only displays.
Well, you have to have
on-
something in the
summary,
box.
so let me clear this up because the summary does display on a few different places, not just the homepage.
Okay,
So when we talk about this area, we call it the homepage. I like to call it the front page because we talk about promote to front page. This is a list. In Drupal terms, they call it a view, but I like a list or a feed. We have several lists and feeds throughout your site. So the homepage is one of them. Articles, action alerts, positions, calendar, and members only. They're all different lists. So when it comes to the summary, we're talking about the summary displaying in a list. So any of those places, if you have, let's say, an article, a published article, and it's showing up on your articles page, then within that list, you would see the summary.
okay.
When we talk about seeing something different on the summary versus the body, let's take this action alert, for example. Okay, so as said before, the default of our system is for the summary to just be taken from the first kind of 200 to 300 characters, HTML characters of the body. So when we look at the body in WYSIWYG here, we think 200, 300 characters probably gets us somewhere about here. But we're talking about the HTML side. So we're taking into account all of these carets and spaces and all that. So 200 characters gets us somewhere shorter. So we can force what we see in the summary. If you wanted to see everything in the body in the summary, then all you have to do is copy the HTML of that and paste it in your summary. But if we want to see something different, it's possible. You can have something on the summary that's not on the in the body at all. It's up to you. The only requirement if you wanted to see anything formatted is to include the HTML formatting in there.
Yeah, now that you did it, I remember where I put it. It's in the calendar. I put the summary in the calendar event, and that's where it didn't show on the calendar page.
So again, the calendar is a list, so it shows up if you do put it in your summary.
Okay, I must have did something wrong.
Yeah, double check
All right.
your summary and double check if it's published, because if you don't
Oh,
publish a
okay.
save, it will not show up, the summary changes.
Hey, Maurice,
And
I,
yeah, and
sorry, just a question about the summary. Is the summary also always in HTML so that if you don't include any HTML characters, it will be plain text?
yes.
Okay, just want to confirm.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Susan, I have you next.
Susan is muted.
Are you there, Susan, if you wanted to ask your question, or I can save you on the next go around? Okay, I will keep Susan in the list and we're gonna move on to Paula.
Hi there. Emery says, we are brand new to this, so my question might not really apply to other folks. And I know I tried to send you our list. We wanted to reorganize the menu.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and I did not have a chance to respond there, so I thought if you're game, we could just talk about it a bit here.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah.
All right, so the questions were about managing your menu, rearranging it, adding new links and all that. So there are a couple ways around it. As far as the way that I like to I guess first get started with adding them in. If you have the page already, so let's say this is not a good example because I already have the studies page in my menu, but we can pretend that this page is ready to go, but not yet in my menu. You can go through the draft, either edit draft or new draft. And down at the very, very bottom, I'm just going to scroll down. There is the chance to provide a menu link. And the reason this isn't checked already, studies is one of those pages that came with the template of the site, so it was added to the menu a bit differently. But for all intents and purposes, this is the method to go about. So again, you have a page ready to go. It's not in your menu yet. All you have to do is edit, check the box under menu settings. You can edit the link title to be something different than what the page title is. So you have that freedom. The description would show up when you hover over that menu link, so optional there. And then the parent is required to select. If you want it to be a main menu item, then select home as the parent. And then, otherwise, if you want it to live under any of these others, then you're selecting the parent here. And then it's worth noting, if you choose a parent that is already disabled in the menu, then it won't show up, the one that you're currently adding. But let's make this a main menu item, even though I already have it in the menu. And I would always suggest, well, let's try saving it as a draft. I was going to suggest publishing it. But upon saving as a draft, it does show up.
Okay, another question then. I see there's that apply button.
Yes.
So do you also click on that, or do you just hit the save?
The save is keeping a draft. So the apply button refers to making it published. You can make it published because again, your site is new and your site is not yet open to the public. So making things published is not, putting it out there just yet. But it does, I guess, finalize your draft. In that case, though, you always have the chance to go back if you ever, publish something. Drafts on drafts will not get saved. So some changes in between drafts to drafts could be lost here, but a lot of revisions will get saved that you could potentially revert back to. I did want to also go over a bit more of the managing of the menu. As far as messing around with the actual menu, there's a couple of ways to get to it. If you hover over the menu, you have the cog here that shows up, and you can pop over to list links. Another way to get there is through this menu, and it's manage menu. So we get here, and this is how you can make changes to your existing menu, enabling and disabling ones by checking them off. You can rearrange by the grabby handles. Just make sure you save your configuration if you make any of those kinds of changes. You also can add links through here. Again, as I said, if you have a MyLO page or event, whatever it is that you want to add to the menu, I prefer going through the content and editing it rather than this method, but this is always available to you, especially if you have links that are going elsewhere. So you can have internal or external links. Just make sure that you include the HTTP or HTTPS portion of that. If you, let's say, write out a link like this, what gets interpreted before this is it's actually just going to assume that you're talking about a MyLO link. This is probably confusing. So let's say, whoops. So my link is lwvc.org/link, but I didn't put the protocol, the HTTP portion in the beginning. So what MyLO assumes is the address is going to be actually this. It's just going to assume that it's an internal MyLO link. So just make sure you include the HTTP part. Again, the description is the same thing. If you hover over the menu link, it'll show up. Show as expanded will be helpful if it has any child links, because it will always be revealing those child links beneath it. And then again, you have the chance to choose where it fits in the menu, if you want it to be a main menu item or a child link of one of the others. And then the weight is optional because we have grabby handles. The weight is another way to rearrange the item. So we save, and then it usually just gets thrown into the bottom of your menu, whatever you've added new. And then again, you can just rearrange. Any questions about the menu?
No, thank you, because I was just given a list of, I think, committee chairs, like voter services and membership and stuff. And I was gonna add another page, so this shows me how I can do that, so
Awesome.
thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Paula. All right, I got you, Susan.
Yeah, my mute would not unmute. I'm sorry. And now I have two questions. The first one was when we were talking about the registration button.
Mhm.
Is it possible to change the text in the button so that it's doesn't say register for this event? It says something else.
No, it is going to be, I guess, universal, but you can create your own essentially. So let's play around with that if you wanted to recreate that look. So coming down to the event, I don't have any text here, but let's say,
Take our survey.
yeah, you can make it whatever you want it to be. So I just typed whatever came to mind, but it could be whatever because I'm just typing my own text. The button style is what I would recommend because that's what the system uses to generate that registration button. So let's just hyperlink it to make it the full effect.
Yeah, it gives you a block rather than a button, right?
It's a button. All right, let's just go with vote 411. And we can actually why don't we first start with what it looks like? We can be, whoops, reminded. Okay, so it shows up there and it shows up there. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that. Oops. All right, so my hyperlink is still there, but let's apply the button style. Oh, I remember showing you guys this workaround before, but it never gets old. So the red hyperlink, when you put it with the button style, that text should turn white because red against blue is very hard to see. So if this happens to you, when you choose this button style, then just click it again when you have it all selected to essentially remove it. And instead, we're going to open back up the insert edit link little box. And under class, that's where we're going to select button. That
Aha,
will
okay.
do the trick. If that's just your method, then you can always go that way and choose the class from here. It's just that sometimes the style of button will sometimes not, the URL will not respond and change as it should. Okay, so we have our button there. Because I don't have anything else in the body, this button is going to show up in my summary. And let's just show that off. But I also want to play around with if I had actual text there. So I guess the only little piece that we didn't have was the little symbol, the carrots. We could have added, I could have added a little bit more to make it stand out a bit more. But let's check that out in the calendar. There we go. Again, if we were talking about something with text, and I'm pulling up some text right now so we can pretend here. There we go. It's all about cheese there. So I'm just going to save this so that we can, again, see what that looks like on the event page versus the list. So here we see on the list that the button no longer comes up because I added enough words at the top that it got pushed down. So let's do what we did before and edit the summary. Edit the summary. So again, we are required to add in HTML if we want to see formatting. The good thing is that all of this text is unformatted. So if I did want to have some of that in there, I can just throw that in as is because I don't have it bolded, italicized. I don't have any headings. It's all just plain text there. But when it comes to the button, that is where I need to be able to copy just that formatted piece. So what I usually do is put either like a, what is it called? Like a filler word or something. It's just so that you can identify where that break is in the HTML. Because let me go ahead and show us the HTML side. It's a little hard to tell where that break is. If you are familiar with HTML and where to catch that, then go for it. But I think for most people to know that that is where I added that break in the paragraphs, it's not really discernible. So what I will usually do, and actually, I think adding this will be better. So what I usually do is add a formatted text box. And it doesn't immediately come up. But I've now, let's see, I think I've come up with another way to make it reload. So I open up the media browser, which is a bit backwards. No, that's not the way. Sorry, this is definitely not part of it, but this formatted text box needs the WYSIWYG toolbar. So I need to save the page, which is an unfortunate workaround, but that's where we're at now. Okay, so coming on back. There we go. So this, the WYSIWYG toolbar was what I was waiting on. So all I want to see here is actually the WYSIWYG toolbar, or that paragraph box. I'm going to copy the button, either cut or copy. Oh no. Well, the reason I wanted to do this, we'll just recreate this. Typically the formatting copies over, so I'm surprised it did not. But the reason for this is because I'm able to copy this without interference of any other HTML. So it's nice to confidently know, well, I'm only copying the button formatting there. But if I were to copy from up here, if I cut off at the wrong spot, maybe I have some extra spacing, or maybe I have, you know, something that just was not supposed to be there. So the formatted text box, either, I mean, if you add a third-party embed code box, either one gives you the ability to switch between WYSIWYG and full HTML, and that's what you want. Okay, so this I can remove. That was just so that I could copy it. And I actually forgot to actually copy it. Okay, so now I've added my text. I've added my HTML for my button. And actually, if you did want to add symbols, we do have a way to enter symbols. I don't know if it has the little double carets that we saw. Oh, it does. So if you did want it to look very much like the system generated button, you can add that symbol in there. I didn't add it to the top one, that's okay. So again, we're gonna publish this to see it both in the list. And then here's it on the actual page. Any questions about that?
Well, I would just say that that registration URL for the event is only meant for registering. It's the only way it, right? So you wouldn't, it's not like having, take a survey or something like that. It's meant just for registering for an event because that's a field in the event.
Right.
Oh,
The
it could
only
be
thing is
used.
that it does accept any URL. So if someone were to enter, like if let's just play around with the National League site. Any URL you put in there, the system is just going to take it and turn it into a button. So I guess technically you want to give your folks, your visitors, context. So using this for a different URL is not ideal, but just so that you know, the system will not reject your entry. But yeah, the workaround of creating your own button, it looks very similar because it's the same style of formatting that's being used.
Could you, one more time, look at the point at which you enter the URL for the homemade button, somewhere down there, you were able to make it a button.
Yeah.
And it was so fast. I didn't really get a good look at that.
For sure. Let's go over that again. So I'm going to recreate that. I will go with your suggestion. Take the survey. And again, I'm just going to add the little symbol because I've now grown to like it. Okay. So we're going to open up insert edit link. And sorry, I'm going to zoom in a bit. There we go. All right, I highlight the whole thing. I'm going to open insert edit link. The link URL will be whatever you need it to be. By default, this is gonna, if it's not a MyLO link or a lwv.org link, it'll open in a new window by default. Or you can have it open, force it to open in the same. But then the
Aha,
class.
all right. So it's class.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
And then insert
Thank you.
for sure.
And my second question, which you could defer to any other time, is nodes. I still haven't figured out nodes and would appreciate at some point a review of what a node is, where it is, and how you use it.
Yeah. I might save that one, yeah, in my back pocket, as you said. But I think everyone probably would benefit. Thanks, Susan. Maddie.
Yeah, so just a quick question on the registration button. Can we put an email link in there? You know, if the registration is by RSVPing to somebody, can we just like put in something that when you click it, it pops up an email?
Yeah, good question. You should be able to use a mail link here too. I've never actually tried. So if we add in mail to, and I'm just adding my link's general inbox, mail to, and then colon an email address. Let's publish and save and see. Yes, it does.
Okay, and then you can put the other things in there also that would put like a title in the subject.
That
If
I
you
don't
want.
know. If you can remind me how that's built, we can play around with that too.
Yeah, I can find that. I think it's like colon and then subject, you know, but
think
I
it's-
don't remember
Okay.
exactly.
I think it's question mark.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Subject equals whatever, and with.
And maybe in quotes.
No,
Yeah,
you
it's
usually,
standard HTML.
Okay. And then I think maybe it was an and symbol for the next portion.
yes, but I
That sounds right.
never use the quotes. I always put %20.
Oh, %20 I think is a space.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, yeah, but I'm saying you can get like hello, if you want something more. You don't usually put quotes, you just put hello, Joan, or whatever.
Oh, and it will
Yeah.
show up just like that.
Yeah, and now you do your ampersand.
Gotcha.
And the ampersand would be if you like want to put
What else?
body in there, right?
Yeah, let's just to try. I just want to see if it will come up. Okay. So we're going to see if this email will be populated with the subject hello and the body to begin with register. Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
That's cool,
Okay.
Maddie.
Yeah, because I was thinking, you know, a lot of times our stuff, you know, sometimes we use one of those apps for events, but sometimes we just want emails.
Doesn't the event have a host and an email response in the template?
You
thought it
can
did.
add contact information. Is this
Yes,
this,
that's what I was thinking. Yes.
let's fill it out actually.
Yeah, I've never used that.
I'll leave my Gmail. Yeah, you have the contact there. You also have the ability to add a web form. So if you did want to take responses directly from the or I guess have a web form to begin collecting info as well.
Where's the contact?
There we go.
There.
Down at the bottom.
But it isn't
Yeah.
like a registration or.
Exactly. It's not like contact this person if you're coming, more like contact this person if you have a question.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's the issue I had. I've got usually multiple people to contact if you're coming, RSVP. So I couldn't figure out how to do that except list them in the body and just do it that way.
Well, if you had an alias that forwarded to multiple people, you could do it.
Or you could put multiple people in that link that we created, multiple
Yes.
recipients.
Right.
Would you
And they-
repeat the formatting to add subject line and a little?
The formatting?
Yeah, that HTML, you know, it's you mail to colon and then your email address. And then I didn't write fast enough to get all the pieces to create the rest of it.
Let me type it out again. So this time I'm just gonna put mail to colon email at example.com. That's the address. And then it's followed by question mark. I think you could even have more than just like subject. I think you could, like Maddie said, you could specify multiple recipients. I think you could even say who's CC'd and who's BCC'd.
Right.
It's just a matter of putting that, I guess, attribute in the equal sign and then whatever is going to be that value. So
And I think when you create an email link, you know, if you put an email in, it will automatically, I think, turn it into a link. And then if you go look in the link box, it seems to me that there's options in there. If it's not in MyLO, it's definitely true in Word. You
and
know,
say that again, Maddie.
so if you create a link to an email in the body,
Mhm.
you know, and it will automatically, I believe, take an email and make it into a link,
Yes.
a mail link. If you open up that link, if you like, you know, click on it and then do the link icon, and then it opens up that box, I think it has mail link stuff in there. So you can have it create it for you and then just copy what you get and put it in
I
wherever you
see.
want.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, let's just show that off real quick. Oops, I'm gonna zoom out a bit.
You could even do it right there with Jane Doe.
Yeah. So I think we all see that that's hyperlink. I think when I look here, yeah, it's automatically hyperlinked because the system does it on its own. But I think typically after saving, Maddie, are you saying that after saving it will show up the
Yeah, right. Usually if I have stuff like in the body, I don't know, it may be different in events, but if I put an email address and then save it, it turns it into a link. And then when I go to that link, click on it and use the link button.
it will
So,
show you the I guess essentially HTML of the link, right?
yes, correct.
Yeah, and I've seen that before myself, so I'm not sure why this one isn't saving as
Yeah.
hyperlinked. But regardless, yeah, that is a good trick if you needed to copy the mail to link.
Mhm.
If you were worried about it not showing up, though, then the good thing again is that the system is just going to automatically hyperlink it for you.
Mhm.
But to show Susan the I guess the way that it was created. Liz, did you say it was
Percent 20,
%20 and that's a space, correct?
yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's important to note because I think if you put actual spaces, it will just break at that space. And then as
Yeah,
you
depends.
build,
Sometimes it's smart,
good.
but sometimes it's not.
And yeah, I don't think we want to roll on something.
Right. We
Um,
want to make sure.
yeah, that's good to know though, that I guess it's not 100% of the time. But then what did we say? Oh, body. But I think if you wanted to see, I think CC, you just do that. Let's see if mail to, I think it's attributes. Oh, I think it's the parameters. There we go. So I can drop the whole link, or I'll just, well, I'll drop the whole link. We can just go over this right now. I'll drop this in the chat if anybody is interested in getting into the HTML mail to parameters. But we get started with mail to as the main piece there. You can specify the CC, specify BCC, subject, body. The question mark is the the query after your mail to link begins. And then the @ symbol, I'm assuming, is just through the email addresses. Yeah, so that's pretty straightforward. Those are the bits and pieces that you can specify. And it seems like that registration field will take, if you make it a more complex mail to link, let's say you're specifying the subject and body and maybe CC or both BCC and CC, it should be able to hold all that.
Right.
It makes it a lot easier when you receive it too, because if you're the recipient of all these emails, to be able to sort by subject.
Right. That's why I use it all the time. Excuse me.
Any other questions about the mail to links? Okay, Mary Jo.
So I wanted to go back to the having the link show on the front page. Am I correct that in order for the hyperlink to show, it has to be in the body, but like really up far to the top?
Yeah, if you're trying not to manipulate the summary and like force it to show there, then
Yeah.
if you naturally want it to show up, it should be higher up in the body.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I thought. And I have a totally different question. I don't know if I should go now or
Go for it.
Okay, so if you belong to the new media of Facebook, you would have seen the thing about the 411 and the Webby Award. So I was trying to post that, and I kept getting, and I've had this once before where it says MyLO error. The website encountered an unexpected error. Try again. And then at some point it said an AJAX or AJAY HTTP error occurred. And then there was some path that I didn't write down. And then at some point, I think when I was like using the media library, it was saying something about the address doesn't match the picture or something like that.
I had a solution for that. I got another email and I sent it to you, and it's got it. I think it's because it was originally posted on Facebook.
I don't know.
And you actually needed the new
Picture
link. Yeah. I mean, the actual picture.
Oh,
Okay.
I see. It could have been maybe the wrong format or something.
Yeah,
It could have been.
I don't know where she got the picture because I was looking around too, but yeah, I just got home, so I haven't looked at all the emails. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can send it to everybody
So
if they want.
so that makes sense though, that would be an error because it doesn't like the picture.
As far as that, but the MyLO error thing, if that ever happens, I usually would recommend that you send us either a copy of the content or just the content in the email, because that has happened a time or two. And what we have, well, at least the times that I have been able to help without our tech team's assistance, it was, I think an emoji was in the embedded tweet. And so that was causing an error because our system does not interpret emojis. That was one example. And then another example was, it was like
something strange on that picture, and I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's worth sharing with us, because it could be something simple like that, where all we have to do is, or you could do it too. Um, you just would have to remove that emoji. So let me see if I can.
It wasn't an emoji, but I forget, where did we, oh, we saw it in the new media thing, Facebook page.
Yeah, it would help to see that, to know what you're talking about, because I'm a little,
Let me
I
pull
can,
up the post that Mary Jo is talking about. So you're saying the
yes.
new media group?
Yeah.
See if I can.
And we want people to, you know, to vote for it. And Jennifer said we're second, so far we're second, yeah.
Okay, so which post?
Um, well, it was just yesterday, so
Oh, this one?
there it is. So go up a little bit more, and maybe I'm crazy and I didn't see something weird. No, I mean, no, I mean, bring the picture up more, so I see the whole picture. Yeah, maybe, I don't know if there was something on it that was weird, I don't know.
Let's see. Whoops. So you were trying to share the Facebook post, or
Well, I mean, not really. I was trying, you know, I just right clicked and said save as picture or save, you know.
save image as?
And that's what I try to put that image in. And then, you know, I did use some of the Facebook stuff for the body, but like I said, at some point it says something about something not matching the picture. So I don't know.
Yeah, that one I haven't come across before. I'm not entirely sure, you know, how to get around that one, or what the next step would be there. But
And Jennifer, you said you found some different pictures somewhere else.
I found, from, the Vote 411 site. I received the original, artwork.
Oh, because you work on Vote 411. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
so I'm gonna see if going through the steps of uploading the file will do anything. I'm imagining, since it's a
Yeah.
JPEG, I didn't check the size, but it should go through. It did upload. Let me go next.
Okay.
Yeah, so this image came up with no issue.
Oh, okay. I don't know what was going on.
Um, yeah, I'm not
That's
sure.
weird. Yeah, shoot.
But it doesn't have a link, does it?
An
To the
image
voting
won't be
link.
uploaded with a link.
Well, I don't need the, well, I was gonna put the link separately. So you think, oh, so there was a link on the picture.
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't, where would it be? Oh, vote now. Yeah, maybe that was the problem. I don't know.
I am not sure, but what I
Yeah.
have seen before, like I said, is when you try to share or embed a post, there's no way to embed this post. I think because it's belonging to a private group.
Oh, okay. The Facebook thing. Okay. So I might ask an ignorant question. So, you know, I'd gone to the trouble of, you know, doing some stuff on this, and I thought, well, I'll just check later. But how do I save something as a draft? And don't laugh because that's elementary, but because I don't normally do that. I just do it and get it done.
Yeah. When
Um,
you let's see, right now I have just this one as my current draft, the only
yeah,
draft. When I come down to the bottom on the moderation state, just
right,
leave it
right,
as is. You're probably used to swapping that
right. Yeah,
immediately to
yeah,
publish.
yeah.
So when you come down, ignore the moderation state and then just save.
Just say save. And so next time I go in, I'll be the, I will see it, but of course nobody else will. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm sure I've done that in the past, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I can keep trying the MyLO error thing if anybody was interested. If you're ever like posting stuff as far as embedding posts, um, this would be a way around it. I don't have one with emojis. And again, this was just based on what we found as like proof, or like that it has happened before. Okay, I'm gonna just leave that for now. But Deborah, I see your hand.
So just to go back on the voting on the Webby thing. Okay, so you couldn't just go in and vote on that. Is that correct? You had to set up an account? Is that what
Yeah, I think
others
I did.
found?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yes,
think I
you have to
did.
set up an account. You can't be, you're afraid of getting robots.
Yeah,
Okay,
And then after you set up your account and vote, then you get an email saying, are you a robot? Click this button if you're not.
okay,
So, and then your vote gets counted.
all right.
and I think when I did it, I think it was one of the first 3 that showed up or something. I mean, I didn't have to.
But that's because it was to the link. If you just go into the Webby
Yeah,
page,
it would be more. Okay,
there's hundreds of them.
that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's why the link is important.
Okay.
But we gathered 25% of the vote. NASA had more. We can beat NASA. But we were in second place.
Okay, so I did find a post here on Facebook, has some emojis.
Mm.
Let's see if we can recreate essentially the issue that I thought Mary Jo was encountering. Oh, I think Facebook might not give us any issue. Because in the issue that I'm citing, where the emoji was there, you could literally see the emoji here in the HTML. So it was very obvious that the system would not interpret that properly. So I think this probably will work, which is a good thing. Okay, great. So it must have only been embedded tweets with emojis that were giving issue previously.
And when it said an AJAY HTTP error, that doesn't mean anything to you. I have no idea.
If it happens, well, if you're able to either send screenshots in the moment or
Yeah. Yep.
I
Yeah.
know it would be hard to kind of recreate what you were doing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
knowing what was being entered would help. Because sometimes it could be something really simple, but it's hard to know without a
I
bit of
know.
context there.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I was just going to mention earlier, you were showing about the menu, and I know you mentioned the showing the subheadings. I forget what term you use, but that is nice because it's not all or nothing. I mean, like right now, in fact, I might even change it on our voting. I have it set up so that all the different subheadings show up, but it's not really election time right now, so I could go back and change it on the menu and say don't show all
Right.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
that's kind of neat.
Yeah, that is the nice thing. You can prioritize different stuff as you move through the year. Mike.
Yeah, it just came up. We're using, or people are using more QR codes. And some of the things that we've used QR codes for are usually embedded in a flyer. So I'll run the announcement on the site, and then I'll upload the flyer as a PDF so people can read it. But can we put the QR codes right in the body of the of our MyLO event?
Yeah, you can. With QR codes, we use our phones to use them. If most
Yes.
people are going to be consuming your content on their phone, then it may be counterintuitive to have the QR code on the web. You know what I mean? But you just upload it as an image and it would be
Okay.
a workable QR code.
All right.
Susan.
Thank you.
I tried putting a QR code in, and maybe what you just said answers my question. It wouldn't work for me, so there must have been something I wasn't doing. So I have to treat it as a JPEG.
Yeah,
Or have it be a JPEG.
a JPEG, a PNG, any image
Yeah.
file that MyLO accepts. And yeah, you upload it as an image and it should be, be able to be picked up and stuff.
Okay, so the code doesn't work. That's what I was trying.
Oh, I see. Was it giving you like an embedded option?
No, it just said nothing. I mean, you try to put it there and nothing appears, and so there was something wrong, and that's because I can't put the QR code into MyLO. It has to be the picture.
So if you were putting a flyer that had the QR code on it, excuse my ignorance, but you wouldn't be able to click it or to take a picture of it and it would work or?
No, they can take a picture of it and it works.
Yeah, so why, so you're talking about a QR code that's separate from a flyer? I guess.
Yeah,
Yes, right.
on the web.
Okay, all right, thank you.
The reason I attached the flyer is because I didn't figure out how to import the QR code. So I just said, oh, heck, I'll just say, hey, this event is here. This is going to see this flyer and how to register and use the
Yeah.
QR code.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to get too fancy. I think I'm going to lose
No.
most of my members, but I just want to know if you could do it.
Yeah, as an image, and then you'll be good to go.
I had one member didn't know the difference between a Word document and a PDF, so we're still struggling on some basics over here.
Where is here?
Berrien County, over on Lake Michigan,
Oh, yeah.
God's country.
Ah,
Yeah, that's for sure.
Any other questions, folks? All right, well, hearing nothing, I think that will wrap up today's session. 2 weeks gives us the 18th. So we will see each other again on the 18th, but definitely before that, we'll be chatting it up in the Google group.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and review this one again.
Yes, yeah, I'll have this one posted. Probably not until next week, but I'll get that up as soon as I can.
So Anne-Marie, I didn't see anything on the Google Mail, but has anyone contacted you about something that you might want to share with us? I'm assuming no.
No, not yet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we still got things in the works though, as far as I guess.
No, I meant people contacting you with an issue that you had to help them with that you might want to share with us that we might.
Oh, gotcha.
But I didn't see anything. So, and you usually
No, I
we
think
would see it. Okay.
we've seen domain issues come up, but
Yeah.
those are usually individuals. But
Right.
yeah,
Thanks.
thank you guys. We'll pick up again, like I said, in a couple of weeks, but we'll see each other in the group.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much.